Hi there, folks. Welcome back to Rich Reviews. So it's the second day of the Regina Film Festival, and I just got out of seeing the report. And this is written and the directorial debut of Scott Z. Burns, the man who co-wrote The Bourne Ultimatum. He wrote the film that I happen to really love, The Informant. He then wrote Contagion, which I happen to love the CDC stuff, and I didn't care at all for the Matt Damon stuff. And then he wrote Side Effects, which I did not see, although I've heard good things about it. He's been given the keys to the kingdom for a very important film that will remind you of Spotlight. If you don't get outraged by this film, then you clearly there's something wrong with you. Now, Adam Driver, and this is one of two films of Adam Driver that I'm going to be seeing at the festival. I do have to see Marriage Story. Plays Daniel Jones, and now this film was introduced by the Commissioner of the 9/11 report, Philip Zlakoff, and he gave some opening remarks about the film. He hadn't seen the film, but he believed that in a cutting way that, oh yeah, Adam Driver would do a reasonably good job at playing Daniel Jones, because Philip Zlakoff did actually meet Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones spent approximately 5-6 years uncovering what is now the Senate Intelligence Report on, enhanced interrogation techniques. Now, of course, in the beginning of this movie, we see the torture report, and then torture is blacked out. Would that have been a very more fascinating title? Maybe. But again, does anyone want to hear the word torture in a film? No. When he's in opening narration, he's basically like, yes, I was in college, and when 9/11 hit, I changed all my classes to national security classes. And he's talking to John Hamm here, and the John Hamm character, who is actually based on a real character, would become Barack Obama's chief of staff for all of his second term. Now, of course, then he works for the FBI. He gets to be a staffer for Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein in this film, amazingly enough, is played by Annette Bening. Bening plays Dianne Feinstein to a considerable bit as a little bit of a war hawk, but then again, as at least one person knows, staffers don't have to run for re-election, and Dianne Feinstein obviously does. Adam Driver first gets onto this case by figuring out, okay, what happened to the tapes, because the tapes went conveniently missing. We also, in this film, get the CIA story and how they were like, probably like the day after 9/11, they were like, we told Bush all of this several months back. He didn't want to believe us. He thought Russia was the main threat. Air Force officials, who somehow were going to retire, then they were never brought back, essentially pitched what will become now known as the enhanced interrogation techniques, obviously. And these two people, who come off as a sort of a absurd, demented version of the Marx Brothers, and here's the thing, they get $80 million in total from all of this. They slowly but surely get involved in the interrogation techniques, i.e. torture. And yes, those interrogation techniques are indeed played in full in the movie. Now, of course, how you view this material is basically on your own terms here. I found this film amazing. Think of this as Spotlight as a political thriller here, folks. And we do get to meet some certain individuals, George Hand, John Brennan, who's played by, that guy, played by Buffalo Bill and Captain Leon Solominer. Can't remember his name for whatever reason. And Mira Tooney shows up and gives probably one of the weirdest lines of the night, basically saying, isn't it our job to get to the truth? And two guys who essentially pitched all this to the CIA is like, the truth obviously is that we know he's lying. And obviously they waterboard Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and he basically is like, yeah, there's going to be a terrorist attack in Montana for all things. And obviously they went to Montana, and of course they found out there was no attack. He obviously knew that this was false, and he just wanted them to stop. Someone need to be waterboarded over 180 times? No, they don't. And again, we do also once again meet Tim Blake Nelson here as a doctor of all things, and he is like, yeah, all of this was just genuinely absurd. I told them this was not working, and basically I was told to shut up about it. And I don't want to be mentioned in this report here. The report here ends up being 6,700 pages long, and at least at one point, John Hamm is like, the Bible? Well, the Bible tells the story of humanity in 2,000 years, and is significantly smaller than this. And apparently, obviously, they want to try to redact the report, and of course, with this report really be worthy of coming out in the first place. Go into a little bit here with Zero Dark 30 and how basically the CIA is portrayed in a positive, overly light. At least at one point, Adam Driver has to go to an attorney because he's being investigated into the computer server thing, and because the CIA themselves wanted to investigate Adam Driver, and he tells the attorney, played by Corey Stoll in a heavily bearded role, he's like, people will go home, watch 24, see Jack Bauer ram a knife in someone's leg, and expect them to talk and have them advance the plot in 42 minutes. Torture doesn't work. My mother had to close her ears or eyes on certain occasions because she thought all this was too much. And Driver really comes into his own with this film as a guy who's like, wow, how is no one outraged by all this? We learn all these people involved with the enhanced interrogation techniques, some of them have been promoted. At least one is now director of the CIA. With one guy going depths in the deep of insanity here, and this film does throw Obama's administration's feet to the fire when it comes to all this. In the end, what I'm going to say about the report here, I'm going to give this a leave work early, even though I know some people might have strong stomachs when it comes to the interrogation stuff. So folks, what's your favorite political thriller? As always folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself with knowledge. I'll see you next time folks. Yes, hooray.